I think they have a really strong relationship. They have a very good friendship overall, and she's a very positive, very optimistic character and a very optimistic friend in his life. But I do think she's a little bit curious about how this is going to turn out. She's not exactly sure if this is the right position for him, this leadership position. Although she is very encouraging, it is difficult, and I think that the antics that ensue also show that, he doesn't feel like he's right for that. It's a right fit, and that sort of spins him into the direction of going to follow his father to where he ends up in the Panda Village. Chi is the life force energy which you hope to move, and it keeps us young and fresh and alive. The wonderful thing about being a part of something like this in a franchise is that you can always welcome new voices in. And I think that mix and that addition to the cast is always exciting for everybody. And it also opens up different storylines. I mean, I think the fact that they brought in his father and his origin story and his culture is so important and exciting for us as adults and also for children, because it's always fun and they always have wonderful things in there and storylines and action scenes. And the fact that it is animation, it's a magical world. Anything can happen and does happen. It's just been an absolute joy, and it's an excellent way to sort of team up with some incredibly creative people that you probably would not have, teamed up with, because it's a different world, animation. And I think that world of fantasy and that world of creation, you have to have an incredible amount of patience. You have to have a real vision for things that are not even created yet. And at the same time, you still have to bring in those elements of story and plot and heart and character to keep the audience engaged. I remember the first Kung Fu Panda that we ever did, they were really excited because they were doing things with Viper that had never been done before. The simple movement of the snake being able to sort of whip her tail or even like vibrate in a certain way with her scales or any of those things were sort of for the first time. So not only were they developing this movie for the first time with these ideas and this culture that they were laying in, they were also doing things behind the scenes technically that won them many awards. I think the movie is absolutely beautiful. It's rich in color. I love how dynamic they use the costumes are. I also love that they are very sort of involved in the historical idea of color with how things are, because red and gold and black, all of those colors mean something in China, and they really use them in the right ways. And they have an incredible sense of humor that they've injected in there as well. So I'm very impressed by the movies. I also think that the movie has a very wonderful way of connecting what it means to belong ultimately, with his fathers. That yes, this is where he's from. This is his culture, but he also belongs to his father who brought him up. And I think it's really about the community that creates your family. It's not always about who you are and who's who you're connected to genetically. And I don't know, I think that was they did it very well. I think that's a very difficult thing to do. That's a task that I would not have thought, easy to sort of describe for children. And I think they did a great job with it.
Did you know that The Bible and Planet of the Apes are the only G-rated movies to show nudity? Want more movie facts? Click on more videos, or for the latest trailers, click on the playlist.